all right. Party people in the house. Let's see, everything seems to be working correctly. Good morning, folks. Good morning, Beth. Good morning, Penelope. How you doing? Thanks for the heart me. Lady Jane, thank you for the heart me. Appreciate it. All right, people are streaming in. That's a good thing. We will be getting going very, very shortly. Thank you, Lady Jane. Appreciate it. Thank you for stopping by. Okay. Yeah, Blue Wave. Blue Wave seems to be here. I think lots of people on both sides of the aisle are really waking up to the reality of the situation that's going on in America. And responding accordingly. So yeah, looks like, because I know, yes, it was mostly just Democratic contests, but some Republicans lost also. And most importantly to me anyway, is that everyone that Dump endorsed and everything that Dump wanted to happen lost. Everything. He was against Prop 50, Prop 50 passed. He was endorsing candidates here and there, they all lost. So let's see, Penelope Jones, the picture you had out there on screen was such a good picture. Yeah, it was a still from a live show, and I just, I screen capped it and created some content behind that. And Beth, yes, it's not like everything was solved by the blue wave. So yes, cautious optimism is warranted. I agree completely. But it's for me the way I'm choosing to look at it, and certainly by no means does this mean that this is the definitive reality. I just think that America has spoken once again, and unfortunately America wasn't listened to in 2016 when 2.89 million more ballots were cast toward Hillary. But, I think America is tired of not being listened to. America is tired of the horrendous job that this glorified carnival barker is doing. And, we're responding appropriately. So as people stream in, folks, remember, keep on tapping that screen. And we're going to start off the day with The Whispers.
Everybody's got to lose. I might as well get over the blues. Just like fishing in the ocean, there'll always be someone new. Who loves the bad time? Girl, you did me wrong, but I've been through stormy weather. The beat goes on, yeah, yeah. Just like my love, everlasting. Hey, and the beat goes on. Still moving strong, and I love it. And the beat goes on. Keep moving right on.
All right, all right, all right. We've got the Whispers from a million years ago. And they're probably late 70s, I'd have to guess. I normally look this up beforehand, but I didn't today. And the beat goes on. Let's see. 1979, I thought so, yeah. Knew it was the late 70s. 1979. Thank you, Staceface. Appreciate it. Look at the sensitive MAGA hats can't handle what happened in the election. Blue wave, LOL, ha 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 ha. You don't have to write that many ha's, but Demo rats won in democratic states. Yes, and some Republicans lost. I acknowledged this earlier. It was mostly Democratic, but some Republicans lost. But also, look at the trend over the last year. Republicans have been losing constantly. So it's just a continuation of the trend. I know your memories don't go back more than 2 weeks, but, shit has happened in the last year, which suggests that Americans, including some Republicans, have figured out that Republicans are really, really shitty at governing America. Yeah, Staceface says 2 weeks is a stretch. It could be. They might have the memories of goldfish, which go back 30 seconds, apparently. But Scotty B says, prayers for those in NYC. Why? Our prayers got answered. We got Mamdani. Because, that was another thing. That was another area where Dump lost. He was going heavy for Cuomo. In fact, every one of Dump's candidates lost. And he lost Prop 50. He was against Prop 50. That passed. So, explain why I like him. You mean Mamdani? Oh, just because he's actually going to do, according to his campaign promises, he's going to lower prices for New Yorkers, which is a good thing. You guys can throw around the word communism and socialism whenever you want. You don't know what either of those words mean. Because really, at the heart of both of those words is just sharing, right? The heart of both of those concepts. Let's see. Johnny Wishborn, you can insult me any way you like, but please don't do it in all caps. And you can say, this guy can barely compose a thought. Yeah, because that's how people talk in English, right? Nope, actually, Teddy, if you actually knew how to count, you'd know that Democrats would come out with 25 more seats. If all states did redistricting, Democrats would come out with 25 more seats than Republicans. So good try, but since you don't know how to count, I'm not surprised. And again, back to Mamdani, New York City has become a haven for only wealthy people. And that's a problem. That's a problem in all parts of America. is that the oligarchs are trying to turn this into a place that's just for wealthy people. And they're forgetting that it's the middle class and below that actually make their wealth possible. You know, whatever. Do you think investors will come? This is a red herring that gets thrown out all the time. Oh, everyone's going to run away. Oh, don't invest. Yeah, and yet it never happens. New York City is the center of the known universe. People that want to do business are going to be there regardless. You think that 2%, that millionaires paying an additional 2% is going to ruin everything? It doesn't work that way, and it never has. You know, let's face it, Republicans are really terrible at making predictions. You guys said that everything would collapse under Biden, and Biden made everything better. You know, you guys thought that dump was going to help you, and he screwed you over. So, you know, you're not really good at predicting what's going to happen politically. And you don't even pay attention when Dump had a terrible first administration. You still rewarded him and voted for him again, which makes no sense. And that was after he was convicted of crimes, which makes even less sense. So that's a pretty good prediction. Sure it is. Johnny, I think, Johnny, you're the one that I asked not to type in all caps earlier, right? Let's see. Let me see if my memory serves me correctly. Love that song. It's been a fun song ever since it came out. Yeah, so Johnny Wishbone, after I asked you not to type in all caps politely, I said please, and you did it anyway, so you gotta go. Okay, let's see. Scotty B says he also has zero political background. Peter, what do you think about the border? What do you know about the border, Peter? No, Scotty B, 2% is not a huge difference. Still my president. No, he's the president. And Johnny, I guess the last thing Johnny wrote was bow to your king. See, that shows you how much MAGA hats hate America, right? They want to talk about Dump like he's a king when America was literally started in defiance of a king. And the laws were set up so that we couldn't have a kingdom. That is the literal foundation of American society, is making sure that there's fairness, that there's due process, that there's freedom of speech. America's still the only country in the world that has freedom of speech enshrined in law, which in a country that doesn't have too much impressive stuff going for it, that is very impressive. Okay, due process is very impressive, although Dump is trying to get rid of that. I want you guys to understand something. It's bad enough what Dump is doing, but the meaning behind what he's doing is even worse. Because you dummies don't know about history, and you don't know what fascists have done in the past, you don't understand how terrible this situation is that America's in right now. You know, you're looking at a man who, this was as of 2 days ago. I haven't looked at the stats recently, but as of 2 days ago, he has bombed 15 boats and ended the lives of 67 people. Okay? Now, this is an extremely serious and dire circumstance. A president of America has decided that he does not have to follow the law, and he can just murk people whenever he wants to. And the things that he's putting into memos and into executive orders, now it's not just like, oh, if you're anti-capitalist, that's a crime. If you're anti-Christian, that's a crime. These are things that he recently put in a memo, the NVMSP, whatever they call it, number 7. Anti-Christian, anti-capitalist, and and anti-American, and not just that, but if you are associated with someone like that, you can be guilty by association. Do you understand how anti-American that is? You people that call yourself patriots, you people that say you believe in the Constitution, it's not supposed to be about, you just look like someone that did something guilty with no proof, with no court, with no trial process. That's not the way America's supposed to run. You can't have a president that just blows people up with no evidence, and even if he had evidence, that's not due process. Because I looked it up. I looked up what maritime law is about. Law in international waters, or as the Constitution refers to it, the high seas. It's not quite as murky as I thought it was. I knew that there was like some distinctions with international waters, but I didn't know exactly what it was. So I looked it up. So here's how it works. When you get past 12 nautical miles from any country's shores, then you're in international waters. And all that means is that international waters are not governed by any one country's laws, right? There are some international laws that come into play, but here's how it works. Any country that does an action in international waters is responsible for that country's laws. So if America tries to arrest someone, let's say they think a boat is carrying something that it shouldn't be carrying, committing some kind of crime, whatever it is, then if America tries to arrest those people, American laws kick into place, the main one being due process. You can't just blow people up and end people's lives just because you think maybe possibly they might be doing something wrong. That's not how it works in America. How would you like that to apply to you? Some politician doesn't like what you look like and says, oh, throw him in jail. Oh, what are the charges? We don't need charges. We don't like the way they look. We think he might be associated or affiliated with criminal activity. Well, what's the proof? There's no proof. We just think he is. Is that really how you want America to run? Is that really the country that you believe in? Because if that's what you support, that's insane. You're not American. You're absolutely not American if that's what you think. You are anti-American. You hate America if that's what you want. If you want the president to have the power of a king, that means you hate America. Let's see what people are saying. We've got a lot of comments coming in. Oh, let him cook says false crimes. I suppose you're referring to the fact that I said that Dump was convicted of crimes. Yeah, it wasn't false crimes. A grand jury indicted him, which meant the only way a grand jury is able to indict someone is if there's evidence presented, right? And then so the grand jury said, oh, there's enough evidence here for charges. Then he was charged and then he was tried because Dump actually got due process. And he got leeway like no other person would have because he committed, what was it? He defied the court like 10 times, right? And the judge had a right to put him in jail for up to 30 days for each infraction, which meant the judge could have put him in jail for 30 days just for contempt. But he didn't. So he got a lot of leeway. And then a jury who heard the evidence from both sides, who was picked by both sides, decided that Dump was guilty. So that's actually how the law is supposed to work. So this bullshit narrative from you mouth-breathing troglodytes, oh, those are fake crimes. That's just because Daddy Dump said that. You're just being propaganda parrots and repeating what Daddy Dump says. You don't know anything. What do you think about the boy? Let's see. Michelle, how far right do you really want to go? Uh, yes, sizzle for me. Blue states vote for Democrats, but so do red states. I don't know if you've been keeping up with current events, but red states have been voting for Democratic governors for at least about a year now. Let him cook, says demon rats. Oh, he's so clever. He calls us demon rats. I'm not a Democrat, though, but demon rats are so pathetic. LOL. You still think that this is a Republican shutdown? 2 question marks? Well, no, I don't think it's a Republican shutdown. I know it is. Republicans are in charge of everything. They could easily reopen the government. They could easily fund food stamps. They could do all of that on their own. They don't need anybody else. Okay? Scotty B says New York City is doomed. Yeah, sure. Sure it is. Libs are cooked, says liberals are always looking for a handout. Oh, that's ironic since it's mostly red states and Republicans that are getting the handouts. Oh, what a sad, sad thing that you don't know that. Okay? Red states, red cities, red counties, they take the vast majority of government money. The vast majority. It's not even close. Okay? And they're funded by blue states because your leadership is so terrible at governing that red states are the poorest states and blue states are funding red states. You know who else is funding red states? Immigrants. All right. Immigrants pay into EBT, Medicaid, Medicare, Section 8, and Social Security. And instead of saying thank you, you vilify them and try to get rid of them. Geniuses. Absolute geniuses. Jennifer says, these are opinions and don't exist in reality. Oh, so, yeah. What doesn't exist in reality is your ability to write a sentence. Eyebone 503. All this talk of kings, but you seem to be okay that Kamala wasn't voted on. She was just appointed. Oh boy. First of all, Kamala's not president, so I don't know why you're invoking her names. And even though what happened with Kamala was unprecedented, she wasn't, the Democratic convention didn't break any laws, didn't break any procedure. It was different, it was new, but so is a president that never had either military or governmental experience like Donnie Dump. That was new too. So is a president that was convicted of felonies. That's new too. I don't see you worried about that, right? You want to talk about something that isn't even relevant, which is Kamala Harris. She's not president right now. How about talk about the guy you voted for with felonies, okay? That's who you voted for, a fucking felon. And you want to talk about Kamala. Pathetic. Yep, deep red Mississippi turned blue. Yep. Sizzle for me. Free transportation in New York City will destroy the city, although it's never destroyed any other city that's done this. So that's another dumb take. You really don't know what you're talking about. User 1826. In all caps, you are soon to see how ignorant you sound. Well, wouldn't that be here? How ignorant I sound? You don't see sound, dummy. Oh, Lord. But, you know, I'm getting rid of everybody that types in caps because you already know that you're not supposed to do that and it's really obnoxious. So you're all going to go, Jennifer, oh, still delusional opinions. Oh, Jennifer, this must be the first time in your life you've heard opinions that are different than yours. Is that what it is? You just can't handle it emotionally? So you have to attack the source of the opinion. It's just another opinion than yours, sweetheart. You don't have to get all fucking snowflakey about it. Buzzy Lady or Busy Lady says, let's get some truly impressive things for the U.S. iBone503, ooh, with a 5th grade taunt. Your name must be Mr. Victim. Right. How have I claimed victimization in anything I've said today or any other podcast I've ever done or any other live I've ever done or any other content I've ever done? When have I ever victimized myself? I'll give you the short answer. Fucking never. You've never heard me victimize myself, ever. But because you're dumb, that's what you think. Sour 412X Music, you're the only one looking at that man. We're busy. Okay. I don't know what that is. Boy, you guys are real triggered by just the words blue wave, huh? You're really going hard. My. Anyway, anyone that wants to come in, feel free to request up. I'd love to hear, especially from you dumbass MAGA hats that really have no clue what's going on around you. I'd love to hear your take on all this. I mean, it'll be dumb, I know it already, but I'm willing to indulge you. Let's see. If not, I'll just keep on reading some of these dumb statements. Let's see, I'll go back a little bit. Melis LDM. You know what we call y'all Dans, DANS? Okay. Switchfoot says, I know people that don't have a state ID. Okay, excellent. Fern says, I've got improved faith in humans after Tuesday. Yeah, it does seem like good news. It does feel good. 7 Days 2.0 says, I can see sound, but it requires a lot of Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. Yeah. Okay. How about we take a look at Dearborn, Michigan and see what Dems have let happen there? How about we take a look at the entire country and see how shitty the Republicans have done? You do realize that Republican states are at the bottom of the pack of all 50 states for income, for health, for life expectancy, for education, for upward mobility. That's red states. Red states except for Texas, and it used to be Florida too, but it looks like Florida might not be doing so well right now, so it might be only Texas that's self-sufficient. Texas is the only state that doesn't take money from blue states. The only red state that doesn't take money from blue states. Every other red state takes money from blue states. Because you guys keep voting in people that keep fucking you over, and you're too dumb to learn. You're too dumb to vote in your own best interests. That's pathetic. Peace out, MAGA. Did I see Dumps trying to say 2026 they'll run on affordability? Oh, Lord, no, I didn't see that. But he's an idiot, though. Sir Laugh-A-Lot, Blue Wave in Blue Land. That's impressive. They see when whenever MAGA hats get a talking point, you ever notice that they all say the same thing, right? They all say the same thing, right? Because they're too dumb to think for themselves. So they don't realize that it wasn't just blue states that voted, and it wasn't just Democrats who won. There were a few Republicans that lost, and more importantly, everything that Dump supported lost. Every person, every initiative, it all lost. Okay, and red states have been voting in Democratic politicians, even as high as governor. Red states, I think there's been at least 3 or 4 red states that have voted in Democratic governors because they finally woke up and saw, oh yeah, the Republicans are fucking us over. So you can try to comfort yourself any way you want by making up lies about reality, but the reality of it is that America is waking up to how terrible Republicans govern. Because they do, it's the same cycle over and over again, and it's been like this probably at least 60 years. A Republican gets in office, right? Like, let's start with Reagan. Reagan completely trashed the economy, right? He cut taxes his first year, and then the next 7 years, I believe he raised taxes something like 14 to 17 more times. I think it was 17. 17 times he raised taxes in 7 years just to try to fix the damage that he did. Lowering taxes is not good. That's what you Republicans don't understand. Things have to get paid for. Services have to be provided. The defense has to be there. It requires tax money. That's why America did the best financially when taxes were the highest. Look it up. Look up the New Deal after World War II, or leading up to and after World War II. All the things that FDR did set America up for success. And one of the important things that he did was tax the wealthy. And he didn't take away all their money, and they weren't destitute. Basically, once they hit a threshold, anything above that got taxed at a very high rate. And some of those people, instead of being taxed at that rate, would take their money and reinvest it into their workers, and made very trained and skilled workers. They opened up more offices, they opened up more manufacturing plants, and that way they didn't have to pay that. But all of that was good for America. It put people to work. Dump lost 200,000 manufacturing jobs in his first term. So far, in the first, I think, 6 months of this year's term, I haven't looked at it since, but the first 6 months of this term, since January of 2025, he's already lost 800,000 manufacturing jobs. Does anyone think that's good? Does anyone believe that's America first? He is the only president in American history that is actively putting people out of work. He's firing government employees for no reason. He's creating a business environment where small business owners are going out of business. And here's a little breaking news for you. Small businesses employ more people than large businesses do. Okay? Let's see. Poor Farm doesn't know how to write in English, so he wrote, "What do we start getting free stuff?" This is another red herring that you mouth breathers put out there, which is Democrats just want everybody to have free stuff. No. Democrats want people to have housing and food and health care. Oh, how terrible. What a terrible thing for America. America is the only developed country without free health care. And look at the outcomes that we get health-wise. America is the only country, the only developed country, and probably the only country, where people go bankrupt because of medical bills. Do you think that's great? Do you think that's a good thing? You think it makes sense for people to, get in a car accident or fall down a flight of stairs or have a heart attack or 1,000 other things that could happen to them health wise and have to lose everything? Do you think that makes sense? Is that really the society you want to live in? You're okay with old people starving. You're okay with children starving. And by the way, some of you have said that. Some of you have come up on panels and literally said, it's not the government's job to make sure people eat. Brr. I had one guy say, I made a post about the food shit because I think that's deplorable that America would allow people to starve. But some of you MAGA hats are fine with it because you're sick, twisted people. You're soulless. If that's your real belief, oh, just let them starve. Because that's what this guy said. He said, my neighbors have 6 children. This is what he wrote. My neighbors have 6 children. They've been on benefits for years. It's, let them starve. That's what he said about knowing that this family, this mother and father, have 6 children. And he said, let them starve. What is that? Do you know one of the measures of a country's greatness is how it takes advantage of the disadvantaged people, how it takes care of the disadvantaged people, right? So if you're not taking care of the vulnerable, how can you consider yourself great? See? Look, you're all proving what I'm saying right now. You're all proving how heartless you are right now. Ashley says, 6 kids? Don't rely on government for food. Well, how do you know what happened? Maybe mom and dad were driving somewhere and got into a car accident and both became disabled. Or maybe mom was staying home, taking care of the 6 children, and dad was the breadwinner, and maybe he got sick. You have no idea, but without investigation, without any semblance of intellectual curiosity, you're just like, oh, let them starve. What kind of sick people are you? What the fuck is wrong with you? In fact, Ashley, I'm going to block you because you make me sick. Right, the candy bar thing. And that's another thing. The same people that said, don't tread on my rights, don't ask me politely to wear a mask during a global pandemic to protect my fellow citizens, they're saying, oh, these people that are poor and on government assistance shouldn't be allowed to eat junk food. That's all they can afford, you fucking heartless piece of shit. And I know, Austin, you were being sarcastic, so that wasn't directed towards you. And how did he know they were on benefits? I don't know, but let's say they were right. Let's say this guy was right and his neighbors were on benefits. Why the fuck should he care? Benefits cost the average family $36 a year. The average taxpayer, I shouldn't say family, that's incorrect. The average working taxpayer pays $36 a year for those kinds of benefits. They pay $600 a year for corporate welfare. They don't mind that. They're not looking at CEOs and corrupt politicians and saying that's a problem. But they're complaining about $36 a year. I mean, if these kinds of programs made your life worse, you might have an argument, but they don't. They don't affect you at all. You just enjoy the suffering of other people. Fuck is wrong with you? Mike Polak, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, says, you have the best doctors in the world. You get what you pay for. Do you want the best or worst pick? Another red herring argument that doesn't bear truth in reality. I had the opportunity, because of my business dealings, I talk to people all over the world. And I've asked everyone this question. When I speak to someone from a country that I've never spoken to before, and I know they're on socialized medicine, I ask them to tell me about it. Tell me what the problems are. And after they tell me what the problems are, I ask them, do you want to get rid of it? Not one person ever said yes. Everyone in these countries that you think are so bad because they have universal health care, they want to keep their universal health care. They don't want the American model, which is if you can't afford it, you will pass away. Nobody wants that model because that's disgusting. You can't call yourself a great country with that kind of thinking, with that kind of behavior. By the way, folks, I still have, looks like 89 Heart Puffs to go. No one's wanting to buy them this morning. Maybe you forgot they were up there. Also, keep tapping that screen. Thank you for the folks that have given me Heart Me's. I appreciate that. I didn't even really talk about that, but somewhere up here is the orange Heart Me. If it's not, well, there's a workaround. But if you see the orange Heart Me, that's the best thing that you can do for any live show. It's one TikTok coin, and it's the thing that the algorithm looks at the most. Also, tap, share the live, all that good stuff. But if you don't see the Heart Me on top, that's okay. That just means it's in another place. Go down to the bottom, click on the gift icon, the gift box, and it will open up all of the gift repository. However, don't just click on any heart. You want the heart specifically called Heart Me. That's the one that this platform is looking for. Sam, thanks for gobbling up some stuff. Nani Bear, thank you. Appreciate it. Gobbling up the Heart Me's. That's beautiful. I mean, the puffy hearts, the puffy. Oh, I didn't have coffee this morning. I'm sluggish. Oh, boy. Tony P says, Blue Wave, haha, you got jokes. Yeah, well, ask Dump if he feels good about the Blue Wave. Ask Dump if he's laughing, because last I've seen, he was really stressed out about the Blue Wave, because he understands politics better than you do. He understands what's happening right now when you don't. There you go, user 40889. That's the perfect way to say it. No, we need to help people in need and stop giving tax breaks to billionaires. Perfect. That's the story. Here's a little ridiculously obvious thing for me to say, folks. Billionaires and millionaires don't need more money. They might want more money, and that's fine. They can want whatever they want, but they don't need more money. There are people hurting in America, and a great country takes care of its citizens, right? That's why America's not great. That's why America's not the greatest country in the world. It never has been, because it's never wanted to take care of the majority of its citizens. FDR was the one who came the closest. Bill Clinton probably runner-up, because he was the only president to balance the budget and zero out the deficit. And that helps regular people. But you mouth breathers don't understand that, because all you see is, oh, we're sticking it to the libs and we're sticking it to brown people. Just because Dump hates the same people you hate, that's why you love him. It's pathetic. You're all pathetic and sad. Diane T says, I've been here 70 years. True, America was never great. Roy Parkinson writes, it is aunt, AUNT, always will be the greatest country. The people that don't deserve welfare because. Folks, that is presumably an adult person trying to write in English. It is aunt always will be the greatest country. The people that don't deserve welfare because. Okay. Roy Parkinson says, you sound pathetic and sad. I sound like an entrepreneur for 35 years that has made his own. I'm not. Oh, you're an entrepreneur for 35 years, right. That's wonderful for you. So as long as you're okay, fuck anybody else who needs help, right? Mike Pollock says, if you give them opportunity, they will take care of themselves. Oh, you mean the opportunity of like shutting down businesses because of your dumb tariffs? Or giving them an opportunity like firing veterans and firing other government workers? Does that sound like creating opportunity for you? Because Biden created 16 million jobs while he was in office, which is the most of any president in a 4-year term. Biden wasn't hemorrhaging jobs. Why do you think Donnie Dump stopped wanting to show you the jobs report? Because the jobs report is the most glaring evidence that his economy sucks. The other glaring piece of evidence is the steady rise in inflation since Dump went into office. Ask any economist if a steady rise in inflation is a good thing or a bad thing, and they will tell you it's one of the worst things. I don't know how to explain these things so your people will understand. Let's see. Yeah, if any one of you mouth breathing, knuckle dragging, homeschooled sister banging troglodytes want to come up here and tell me where I'm wrong, feel free. You won't be able to because you're dumb as shit, but I'll listen. Chrissy said Biden didn't create anything, right? Except 16 million jobs. Yeah, he created nothing except 16 million jobs. He brought back manufacturing to America. And I don't even like Joe Biden, but facts are facts, right? Right? He created programs that stimulated the economy and put people to work. That's what the fuck a president is supposed to do. Not make deals with former T groups and maybe not so former T groups. Not do business with a guy that laundered money for T groups and also got caught with kiddie material. You know, the president is not supposed to spend most of his time enriching himself and his family. That's against the Emoluments Act, in case you patriots care. Georgie Girl says, Dementia Don always lies. It seems like he is constitutionally incapable of telling the truth. Diane T says, Supreme Court going to shut down tariffs. Yeah, it seems that way. Seems that way. But the damage is done. The damage is done. Like, it's going to take America so long to recover from what this idiot has done. Pikester says government funds and programs is not, you meant are not, a lifestyle. It's to help get on your feet. And your point is what? So are you gonna tell someone that has severe health issues and is immobilized and can't work, that they got to get back on their feet. You're going to tell children that they got to go get a job. Why are you so fucking dumb? Honestly. Why are you so dumb and so heartless? That's a bad combination. I could forgive you for being dumb if you had any kind of compassion, but you're dumb and heartless. It's pathetic. Staceface says I've been blocked by MAGA. I guess they don't like my comments. I can't see MAGA. Yeah, that's all right. You're not missing anything. The budget is still under Biden's budget. That's so funny. So you think all these new tariffs are Biden's doing? Are you that fucking stupid? Holy shit. Oh my God. The local prepper is late to the show and is repeating the same talking point they all have. There's no blue wave. All state positions won. We're in blue states. Dirt, dirt, dirt. Yeah, Displaced 55 says you're having your head against a brick wall. I guess you meant hitting your head against a brick wall. They'll never understand. No, I know they'll never understand. Honestly, I share these facts and figures for the intelligent people in the crowd. I'm under no delusion that I can educate a MAGA hat. You know, I know it happens once in a blue moon, but that's not my agenda. I enjoy torturing them because they're dumb as fuck. And I certainly enjoy humiliating them when they come up and try to go at me on my panel. But this is really for everybody else. My lives are dedicated for reasonable people to be able to discuss what's really going on, not based on propaganda, not based on Fox News and what Daddy Donnie says, because their whole source of information is dump, right? They're trusting the most notorious liar of the 21st century because they're dumb, Like that's the only way lying can work on people for so long and so often is that they're too dumb to understand that he's lying to them. So they just take anything that he says and they become propaganda parrots. Bark! Democrats are the enemy. Bark! Democrats do the political violence. Bark! Democrats ruin the country. Right? That's all they can do. They can only repeat what Daddy Donnie says. And Mike typing in all caps, so you gotta go, 'cause you're an asshole. Okay. Keep drinking the Kool-Aid. That's not how you spell Kool-Aid, Mike. Kool-Aid is with a K. And by the way, hey, here's some trivia for everybody regarding Kool-Aid, because everybody says that because of Jim Jones and the Jonestown Massacre, right? And for some reason, everybody says that they drank Kool-Aid, but they didn't. They drank a product called Flavor Aid, which was a Kool-Aid knockoff, and is still available. You can still buy it, right? But they drank Flavor Aid. I don't know how it turned to Kool-Aid. Maybe the telephone game, people started off saying Flavor Aid and eventually it turned to Kool-Aid somehow. But yeah, in Jonestown, they drank Flavor Aid. Robin, thank you. I appreciate the sentiments. That's right, AJ Firefox. It wasn't Kool-Aid. It was off-brand, yeah. Yeah, the people got snuffed by off-brand Kool-Aid. And the people who refused to drink it met another fate. People discharged weapons at those people. Yeah. And it's weird too because Jim Jones started off as a very progressive dude. Like he was all into interracial societies and things like that. And somewhere along the line, he just lost his mind, you know? Touch of Health. Wow. Touch of Health had this thought come into his head and then wrote it down. You know, all tissues are called Kleenex, so that's how that works. I mean, if you're trying to be funny, maybe, but if that's like what you really think, or is it like all copies are called Xerox? Is that the vibe that you were going for? Yeah, the MAGA hats are the ones really that are acting like a cult, you know, and I'm not saying that facetiously. If you read any articles on the characteristics of a cult, you'll see everything the MAGA hats do. You know, the main thing is that the cult controls their information. Violations could result. What? Oh, somebody's reporting me for misinformation. That's what they do when they don't like what I'm saying. So to save myself the trouble, I'll just end the live. But thank you folks for all the comments and all the taps and all the likes and all the gifts and the sharing. I'm here Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. Hopefully we'll see you later on. Peace, love, and granola. Talk to you soon.